to get in game, and we're going to get things going. Now, one thing I'm going to say very quickly, guys, is do let me know if there's any audio issues, because as I've been away, there is very possibly the chance that while I've been away streaming my laptop, some of my audio settings got changed here and there. So if something is too loud, if you can't hear me or whatever, then let me know ASAP, and the sooner you let me know, the faster I can fix it. Otherwise, I'm just not going to know at all, because I'm not going to lie, I didn't do any testing before I went live, because I was asleep until about an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, because I was tired. You know, it's funny, it's kind of what travel does to you, I guess. Anyways, let's do this and let's see what's going to happen in our first series of the day from, I'm not even sure what round this is, but it'll be round of 64, round of 32 or so. From the early rounds of Kung Fu Cup number 7, we have our red Protoss player to the bottom right-hand side of the map. This is Zest. He's going up against the blue Terran player to the top left-hand side. From Titan X1, it's aLive. So game 1 of this best of 3, and we're looking to see just how things are going to be going. Looking to see what people are going to be getting up to in the early stages of this game number 1 of this Terran versus Protoss. What's up, Mucky, with the 30-month resub coming on in. SOS won BlizzCon 2015. Hashtag spoilers. God damn it! You know, Mucky, there's reasons people... I don't even know what to say. It's disgraceful. Don't even know why a mod would... You're modded here. How are you modded here? Spoilers like that. Absolutely disgusting. Thank you so much for the 30 months, though. Do appreciate it. You slept because you were tired? That is absolutely unacceptable, Wardy. Yeah, I know. It was actually kind of funny. I got back and... Obviously, I was kind of tired yesterday from jet lag and stuff, and I got back like 4 or 5 p.m. I had a nap for like an hour or so, and I forced myself to wake up and be like, cool, I'm going to go in and just, you know, chill out a bit and play some games for a couple of hours, and, you know, that way I should beat the jet lag. So, I came into my studio, I played some games, 3-4 hours, I went home, I went to bed about midnight-ish, 1 a.m. I woke up at 3 p.m., and I was like, shit, that's not quite how this was meant to work. It's not the worst thing, though, you know, it could be a lot worse. It could be a much worse scenario, you know, I could have jet lag. You know, I could have woken up at 7 p.m. That wouldn't work at all. So it's definitely manageable, but it wasn't quite the fix that I thought it would be, I suppose. I really thought I was going to be, you know, out of the woods. I thought I completely conquered it, but rip me, slept too long. Good sleep, though. Nothing like your own bed after 2.5, 3 weeks away. As you see, this little Reaper here is having a little bit of a fight right now. And we are going to see this Reaper is just going to be popping away out in towards the center. So Reaper just kind of backing away for the moment. We're going to see a Stargate from Zest is coming down as well. That's about to finish up in the next few moments too. And Stargate is going to get an Oracle out. From aLive, well, Widowmine's on the way up. Obviously, he did expand pretty normally, a bit out of position for the probe was blocking. But other than that, he got the expansion down, the starport's coming up, and this is looking to be a bit of a Widowmine-based pressure early on. You know, drop those Widowmines across the map. You can also use them defensively as well, of course, and against an Oracle, that's going to be fantastic. And of course, in life, he doesn't see this, but an Oracle is a pretty good assumption as to what's maybe coming out of here early game, because more often than not, a Stargate play is the choice made by a Protoss early against a Terran. Those Adepts not quite going to find this Reaper, which for now will stay alive, escaping down to the south side of Depths. Well, their Shade doesn't quite have the vision needed to see that Reaper there, so they didn't see it until too late, and that Reaper is indeed going to stay alive. And keep an eye out for the third base at the moment, Zest. And as he moves over to the left, we'll try and take this, and of course that's information which aLive would love to get, just confirmation of what is going on there. Oracle uses its energy though, gets rid of that Reaper, which means it has a little bit less for coming across the map, but it'll still have enough to kill off a couple of SCVs, which is generally all you're expecting to get done. You're not expecting to just be able to fly in and work your way against a mineral line consistently. As we do see this Oracle coming forwards, Marines though, good positioning to push that away. And the Oracle doesn't find much of a chance to do anything. And it is Phoenix as a follow-up from Zest as well, so he's continuing to make these Phoenix right now. He's already got one, going up to his second. And those Phoenix are going to be very good at continuing to defend drops. They can be very good at kind of denying any sort of pressure early game, actually, with how their lifting mechanism works. You can lift up siege tank pushes, siege tanks and kind of tank pushes. You can lift up Widow Mines if they're able to be seen from a revelation or whatever. There's so much you can do, plus the fact you can chase the medevacs away. They're super good, and there's a reason we see them so frequently is that Oracle takes a couple of shots of damage from the Marines. That's a bit of a shame, but will regenerate his shield, so it's far from dead for now, but again, unnecessary damage. The Twilight Council and the Forge will finish from Zest in the main base, allows him to go straight into his tech of choice here beyond the Phoenix, which is going to be charge and a +1 armor. So, you know, because he's going into the Phoenix, he doesn't feel the need to go into that mobility of the Blink Stalkers. He's just going to go straight into the Zealot charge, which is going to be massively useful in terms of trading, you know, trading with his army, etc. in the near future as we see some Marines going to poke forwards from aLive. And for the moment, I mean, there's not really much Zest can do with these couple of Phoenix and the Oracle, right? I mean, he can't lift up all of those Marines. Even if he lifts up one, he's probably going to lose a Phoenix in the process. So the best he can do is maybe... I'm not even sure what he's trying to do. Is he trying to bait those Marines forwards? But for what? You know, if he wants to drop a Revelation, he could have done so by now. So, a bit of a weird scenario, trying to, you know, almost bait aLive into something of an attack. As it comes, we see a Revelation does drop down a few Marines, and the Viking going to get caught in that. 6 more gateways coming up right now from Zest, so he is going to have that big swell of production, which is going to help a lot when it comes to kind of moving forwards here and dealing with the, you know, whatever the first push of the Terran player might be, which seems to be setting up now, although that's actually just a medevac with 2 Widow Mines inside. It's not really a push, as much as it is just a little bit of harassment. There's 2 more medevacs finished. Stim and +1 attack are going to be getting close to finishing too, so maybe the timing for aLive to push across the map is going to be more or less there as this medevac. A couple of Widow Mines inside, coming down the left side and getting ready to go. And a few Phoenix just gathered up. Widow Mine's going to get off on one of them. No way. Wow, that's impressive considering it was... I don't even know, like... it was it was locked on for so long there. I really felt as though it should have gone off. Zest able to get the Revelation, and he picks off the Widow Mine for free as the other 2 Widow Mines, well, they're about to arrive in the third base. Let's see how good Zest's response is going to be as he charges his Zealots forwards. He's actually going to get the first one. No, he doesn't. Target fires the Sentry. As the Sentry goes down, both Widow Mines will fall, but good kill on the Sentry, good damage. And keeps Zest that little bit distracted here for the moment. Also brings the Phoenix back home, which means they will kill the medevac, nicely intercepted. It also gives aLive a moment or two to maybe think about pushing out onto the map, if that's something which he really wanted to do, which, again, at this sort of stage, you actually kind of would like to, right? Put on some pressure, maybe try and see what you can do behind taking the, behind it take the third CC, and there it is. As the Revelation fades, he loads up the medevacs, and he goes for this big drop around the right-hand side. So big drop around the right side as you see Phoenix production is still ongoing for Zest. A few Marines on the left-hand side going to find themselves alone Zard as they fight for map control here. And those Phoenix are still hunting, but they haven't found anything yet, neither of those medevacs. Fortunately for those, because if they find anything, it's likely to be those Phoenix, and that's not going to be too pretty. As the Phoenix now put themselves to the right side, maybe realizing there's a, something going on here. Some units go to the left. Where's everything else, right? Why isn't that the main army, for example? As we are going to be seeing those few Phoenix. It's going to pull back over towards the center, and we are going to be seeing again just a little bit more bio just gathering up right now for aLive, just beneath those medevacs. +1 air weapons currently on the way for Zest as well, and we are going to be seeing a couple of ghosts continue to come up too as a scan comes down, and Zest's army just being revealed, although it's only half of it, because the rest of it is these Phoenix, which are still gathering up in numbers. aLive has some ghosts on the way out, and as he has hits +1 armor, you have to wonder how much of a commitment is this going to be in his push, because as it stands, no armory for +2, no second engineering bay. He's really missing the kind of follow-up here, which you'd expect to kind of continue to free bases with, such as upgrades, etc. His SCV count seems to have halted as well at around 54, which is just beyond 2-base saturation, but it definitely isn't fully saturated in the third base, so it looks like aLive is going all in with this push across the map right now. And it's kind of a weird all in, because there's definitely like a follow-up behind it with the third CC being here. But he's definitely very committed to this. Let's see what he can do as this Ghost has to be careful already. He doesn't want to lose one Ghost pushing across the map. It's good information for Zest, though, who now knows there are Ghosts involved in this. First Phoenix get themselves the Viking kill, which they were looking for earlier. Didn't find it, now they do. Scan comes down, and of course this means aLive can look at this. The first Ghost leading the charge. Look, VMPs, Zealots, Archons, any of those units actually, anything in this Cross army is great to EMP. The EMP is starting to come down, a lot of Phoenix lifts though, and there's just so many Zealots from the bottom left-hand side. You can see that aLive's trying to kite away to the right-hand side, and yes, he's still got some units left over. As charge kicks in once again, those bio units are going to start going down so quickly, and they are not going to last very long at all. The Widow Mine goes down too. The Phoenix keep on chasing, looking to try and pick off the medevacs, just being very safe just in case the Marines turn and target a couple of those down. Zest doesn't want to lose too many of his Phoenix numbers here, and I love that splits just a handful of Zealots away, which will continue to deal with this. It's the perfect number, while the rest of his army goes straight across the map, ready to clean on up and just to put an end to this game right now. Is coming up to the top side, there it is, a few Zealots going to charge on forwards, and already an SCV going to go down. And obviously now what do you do as aLive? That third base is open. Oh my god, reinforcing Ghosts are caught in the middle of the map. That's not pretty. They go down as well. aLive is in so much trouble right here, as we're going to be seeing Zealots alone. Doesn't even really need the help of these Archons. Zealots alone could run into this. The Phoenix actually take a couple of shots, loses 2 of them. Widowmine goes off, but that's the last Widowmine he has, so now it is just bio units. They're getting lifted by the Phoenix as well. The Zealots are charging in, fully surrounding this bio army, and that's right there from aLive is GG as Zest takes game 1 of this best of 3 series. His best of 3s throughout the day, actually, until we hit the grand final, which will be a best of 5. And keep the action going. The one benefit of replays is that, hey, we can jump in and out of the games very quickly. Don't have to wait for players to host up lobbies, and then, you know, one of the casters not to be in there and stuff like that. That's always sometimes a bit of a frustration. To the top right-hand side, our red Protoss player is, of course, Zest, currently leading the series 1-0 with some solid PvT. And to the bottom right-hand side, the blue Terran player from Titan X1 is aLive. Let's see what he can get up to as well. Again, what's up everyone in the chat? How are you doing? What's up Nuka DeLuca in the chat saying hello? How's everyone else doing as well? Let me know who you're supporting maybe in the series. Let me know how you enjoyed WCS Austin over the weekend as well. Just let me know in general what is up, how you guys are doing and all the rest of it. Would love to hear from you guys and to see what you all have to say. It's been a little while since I've had a chance to chat with you all, so good to be back, of course. And, well, I mean, even when I was casting while I was away, it was kind of difficult to actually talk to you guys because I only had a single screen to cast from, so I was kind of like somewhat trying to read on my phone what was going on in chat, and it's just not the same as having the chat open just to the side of me, you know? It just doesn't quite, you know, quite do it. Game number 2 on this best of 3, and of course it's a 1-0 lead from Zest, as we said before, but as we go into this second game, it is always interesting to watch Darkness Sanctuary because it is a 4-player map. And that's, I mean, interesting is a funky word for it actually, because a lot of players wouldn't say it's interesting as it's just downright stupid and random because of the way in which you can spawn in different locations and you don't really know where to scout initially for the best choice. What Zest is doing here right away with this first probe is already very interesting. He goes cross-map with this, and this isn't because Zest is an idiot, and it's not because Zest thinks that there's only cross spawns. It's because Zest wants to he wants to see if his opponent is cross or not. With the idea being, if he knows it's not cross, he knows it's close spawns, either horizontally or vertically. And if it's close spawns, that's completely fine for him because then he knows, okay, well, you know, maybe that influences his build, maybe it influences how he deals with things, it changes the timings, and so that's all Zest wants to know for sure right now. And as he sees this Reaper coming along from the right side, he might get the idea that that Terran player is indeed in the bottom right. As aLive, well, he is going to be heading back towards the center. I wonder if he's going to go cross-map because of the timing of that probe. It doesn't really feel like a probe which has just been sent out and it goes to that bottom left base straight away, so it kind of feels like it's a probe that maybe went top left then bottom left. And that's why aLive here goes straight across towards the upper right side. So some really cool you can kind of see just how much the players understand the timings on this map just from the initial scout and the fact that this Reaper goes straight cross map after finding the probe bottom left. Really cool little bits and pieces there as we are going to see an Adept will chase an SCV, will get that kill. 2 Hellions about to pop up here as aLive is changing his game plan. You have a game number 2. Reaper gets a probe across the map as well though, and it is a very annoying map to deal with a Reaper on. Massive ledge to jump up and down on for the Reaper, and you know, some decent space to work around the sides as well. And it's going to be a second probe kill if he targeted, but he didn't. A little bit of a shame there as we do see the first Hellion takes a lot of damage from the Adept as it goes across. And that's definitely going to slow down aLive's plans here as to, you know, what does he want to try and do? You know, is he going to try and run by for some probe kills? Well, if he does, that's not going to go so well if one of his Hellions is already, you know, down below half health. Pulls back home, gets a couple SCVs onto that instead. Widowmines were built also, and we are going to be seeing a Raven from aLive to start things out. So that's very different. Not really the pressure sort of play, also just the let's sit back and see what kind of happens kind of play. Widowmines too are interesting, I guess, because he has Nova anti-air. He has to have something in case of the Oracle. Obviously, we can see that it's not going to be an Oracle, though the Robo facility as a follow-up is a fairly safe way to play, but because he kind of knows that nothing's really coming his way because that Adept did such a good job initially, he's just going to be able to get the Prism out pretty quick. And, well, I mean, yes, the Widowmines are a little bit of a nuisance, but I wouldn't say, you know, if Zest responds correctly, they still shouldn't be really a massive issue, even if they've been unscouted until now. And, well, one of these Adepts is going to find a Widowmine at the moment, and this probe is not going to get the Nexus before that Widowmine's able to burrow. So that's a slight annoyance. A few Stalkers warping in here, since 2 Adepts, 3 Stalkers, fighting against really 2 Hellions and 2 Marines is not a lot, and aLive is going to be in some trouble right now, realizing he just doesn't really have any units here. His Widowmine's on the other side of the map, so they weren't even able to get a kill or 2 as they came in. Although that said, with the Warp Prism here, it shouldn't really be possible either, because you can just lift up as the Widowmine fires to avoid the damage. Another Warp in a Stalkers here would of course be fantastic, going to continue some pressure. All the turret comes down, Warp Prism's actually just going to back off, doesn't warp in anything just yet, runs into Widowmine, so there's a dead Stalker unless he gets the lift up. He does! Nice lift up, and that's exactly what you needed to do in that scenario to keep that Stalker alive. Still good damage done though, 8 workers killed, mining time lost. And well, I mean, more Stalkers warp in, as Zest will just keep on this aggression in towards the natural expansion here. So pushing up this ramp, we see the siege tank firing already, some Stalkers taking some hits, and they are going to back away to the side. Stalkers going to load up and drop on towards the high ground now. And those SCVs are going to be picked away at 3 more Stalkers lifting up and dropping down. And we are going to be seeing that Banshee, which has just popped out. Well, that's going to move across the map, but it has no cloak, so it's taking so much damage. Actually, Hellions have gotten some good damage done in the natural expansion. They've run across the map just moments ago. That's already 10 probes killed, but it doesn't really stop this army currently being in the natural expansion as it comes down. Another supply depot falls. Well, probes are still continuing to fall right here as these Stalkers will get rid of that Hellion. So Hellion goes down across the map, and Immortal has joined in. There is a bunker up. Auto turret will come down to help. Currently targeting down the Warp Prism. It will fall. Not only does that get rid of micro potential, it gets rid of straight up the ability to kind of keep on pushing forwards. And it takes away a lot of the firepower onto that bunker. No more warp-ins either. This is a good moment or two here for aLive in terms of continuing to defend. 16 probes went down in total too. If he hadn't killed those 16 probes, this would be amazing for Zest right now. As it stands, he's going to try and recall out of there with the Stalkers. He'll get 2 of them away. I think it's worth the recall, better than getting nothing out of there. This Immortal is still just sat, chilling down on the low ground though. Is going to now pull back up to the top side, and the third Nexus coming on down as well. Resonating Glaives is on the way up from the Twilight Council. A few more gateways coming down as well on the main. And that Immortal is indeed running on back home at the moment, so Zest, he's going to get back home, and again, a few Stalkers waiting for him too. As he gets home, I mean, the extra gates, the Glaives, the +1, all of this maybe enables him to go into that follow-up attack, and yes, he took economic damage, but you got to think about how much he did to the economy of aLive here as well. You know, aLive, even though he comes out on equalish workers, which is pretty good for a Terran, equal workers, he still had these moments where he had to pull workers away, he had to pull SCVs to repair, to just straight up survive. And Zest, he killed some workers too, so, you know, that little bit of an income boost at certain points may very well have helped Zest here. Maybe enough to end this game with a follow-up attack? Well, that's what we're about to find out. There's a Depths that can warp in, there's an Immortal in here too, the tanks are positioned at the front, which means if the Prism goes to the main base, there's not really going to be a lot in position to defend. Bio units, there's only a few of them out, and they don't have stim nor combat shields just yet, and so there's they're going to be lacking compared to what they could be at this stage. And well, it is 8 gateways if those other 2 finish warping in a moment or two. But now it is the, well, there it is, 8 Adepts warping in. So 8 Adepts here, and a couple of Widowmines are ready to go. We'll see how that goes. He's actually going to get rid of a reactor here right away from the Immortal. It goes down so quickly. Just going to work his way through the factory as well. Just patience here from Zest, who's happy to sit. He's actually got another Warp Prism over in the natural, which transports some Stalkers over. So Stalkers are dealing damage here as well, and now aLive has to deal with attacks in 2 different locations at the same time. That's going to be very frustrating to deal with as you see this refinery going to be going down. Depth shading forwards again, thinking about whether they want to commit onto that bio army. The one Widowmine that is in range of these Adepts is actually on cooldown, so here we go, they commit. The Widowmine goes off, just friendly fire to the bio units, and well, more so than what it does to the Adepts. Nice anti-armor missile, actually does a lot here to help out, but extra Adept warping in. The Immortal kills off the siege tank, and of course there's still Stalkers in the natural as well, which killed the Engineering Bay, denying +1 attack. Zest has full control of this game number 2, and that's why aLive shows us the GG, getting on out of there, and he is done.